Welcome back to the Beyond the Summit studio. I'm LD,
I'm Luminous.
and we're ready for Game 3. It's Quantic versus Rattlesnake. My rares and my heart is still with Rattlesnake, but Quantic, well, they might have this one in the bag, Lumi, because something has happened in the draft. Something we figured. You put your hand on the stove, you get burned. You don't touch the stove again. Rattlesnake, they've chosen to touch the stove again, and they've given away the wisp again.
They say the stove has been turned off. It's just
It's all in your head.
lukewarm, yeah?
No. It's all in your head. Your hand wasn't really burnt. You just thought it was. And
Exactly.
now, this time, with the proper mental fortitude, they're going to touch that damn stove again, and they won't get burnt. I promise. Or so they think.
It's hocus pocus. This hero no good.
So they give away EO again.
So-
the wisp is in Quantic's hands.
Apparently how it works so far, from what we notice, is that between each game there's a coin flip. And teams get to decide on whether they want Radiant and Dire, and whether they want first pick or second pick. I think Rattlesnake has chose Dire because they like the side, and they have chose second
They've
second
gotten
pick
second pick, both games.
as a result. And again, historically, 95% of the time, when you have second pick, you are forced to ban out the Wisp because he is just a broken hero. They say, all right, we give it to you again. So last time they tried a TIE Hunter, it didn't work out. This time, first they take away Chaos Knight, which doesn't mean much because there's Tiny, there's Sven, there's a lot of other Wisp partners out
If
there.
there's one thing we've learned, it's that it's not the CK that makes the wisp CK strong.
It's
the wisp.
Yes. That's why there's Wisp Sven, there's Wisp Tiny, there's Wisp Windrunner. We've seen that in the past. So, like, I just don't know what this is about.
We'll find out, though. They seem very confident that they have a solution, and I still think in Game 2, if they did it right, they had a solution. But
Right.
they had to do it perfectly or close to it. It was far from perfect. Completely whiffed cooldowns, completely whiffed impales, some poor engagements for them getting picked off a few times. If they're going to give away Wisp, they've got to have a plan. They obviously do. Can they execute it? That will be the next question.
Also, the question is, last time we saw Wisp getting quick level 6 versus the TIE Hunter getting a quick level 6. With Visage and Chaos Knight, do you go offensive trialing against a Wisp who...
You almost always pick Visage to dominate the laning stage.
Right.
There's very few other reasons to pick the hero. Not that he's not good, but other heroes can do other things better, like team fighting,
in the
for
mid game,
example.
right?
So you pick Visage, you pick Chaos Knight, strong laning heroes. Now Gyro, you have to expect that Rattlesnake want to go aggressive tri-lane here. So Visage, Chaos Knight +1 looks to be the tri-lane. And now they get a Gyro. And I really like this pick because Gyro can solo a Darkseer and do very well. He can handle himself in the matchup, so he won't need help 1v1 against that Darkseer, which frees them up then to run the aggressive tri-lane. Still, can they actually win the tri-lane? Can they kill the Wisp? Oftentimes, we've actually seen Asian teams go aggressive against Wisp and end up dying, and the tri-lane loses.
Yeah, a lot of times you are trying to force out too many kills. People say, Wisp, 0 armor, let's kill him. But they just forget that he could just tether away to a creep that's far away.
Yeah.
Or a hero that's far away, and suddenly you're wasted 2 nukes and he's gone. And they just go right back against you because they have tether movement speed from Wisp. He has these spirits and whoever else that's on the tri-lane. So even though Rattlesnake are going for these kills, they gotta do it quickly. And having Visage and Chaos Knight, that's great because they have great burst damage.
You know, it's pretty clear that these teams really did their homework and shouldn't come as a surprise. They knew they were going to be playing the wildcard match for months, but we see another Razor ban from Rattlesnake, and it's actually a hero that Quantic have turned to with a surprisingly high frequency, something they often will throw in solo mid, and obviously a hero that can pose a lot of issues for any tri-lane. If you don't kill the Razor, he kills you.
Yeah, last time we saw them just banning out Fourth as well, but I think in this particular game, this ban is very important. You cannot go offensive trialing against Razor. If he has 1 point in that passive, your Chaos Knight bolts, your Grave Chills, and whatever else, it's just not going to be as effective. So
You can, but if you don't kill him with the first barrage of nukes, you probably die.
Right.
And lose 2 or 3.
yeah, so
It's another hero that's risky to go aggressive against. So what do you think about Quantic's next steps? They secured their Wisp. They have their offlane or maybe their mid in the Darkseer. He can build them the mech. He can shore up their mid game a bit while this Wisp tries to get level 6. Now they go back for Leshrac. Kind of a squishy and vulnerable support in tri-lanes. There is a Shadow Demon available. There's a Rubik. Better heroes to disengage and blunt the aggression. They haven't gone that direction. What's Quantic up to?
there's a couple ways they could play this. If they want to go for some of the more traditional Wisp partners like Sven and Tiny, they're going to have a little bit of trouble in the lane because they're melee heroes. You're going to get harassed on. You're going to get gone upon when you get initiated on. I think Sven is probably the best partner out of everything that's available.
I do want to mention there's a Lifestealer and a Juggernaut as well. still in the pool. These are heroes that are very difficult to blow up.
That's
Chaos Knight
true.
Visage can't do much against
Right, that's the other path, right? If you don't want to go with a standard Wisp partner, you go for the harder to kill things. Like Juggernaut, like you said, Lifestealer, you could even go Morphling with the waveform back. Like,
Yeah.
forget your offensive trialing. We're going to just basically run away. I think, the reason I think that Sven is probably the best partner left is because Warcry. Against Flat Cannon, against Chaos Knight, predominantly physical DPS dealer, you Warcry, suddenly everybody has a buttload of armor, and you say, come at me.
And, you know, the thing is, actually, this harkens back to the G League Season 4. That's when IG unveiled their, it was called the Face Rush strat, was the rough translation. And Sven was one of the keys to defeating Chaos Knight, because with Warcry, all of that physical damage from Chaos Knight's illusions, it's largely negated, and you can chase like hell. So now, they've got Surge, they've got Warcry, and they've got Tether. If Rattlesnake ever have to run, they're dead. They are not running from Quantic, so they better be able to stand and deliver.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at the value of Warcry, 16 armor, that's just kind of broken if you think about, like, a plate mail gives you 10 and costs 1,400 gold.
You know, there was a funny episode of Talk Dota, and
Okay.
we all love Puppy. Puppy, one of the most brilliant captains and players ever to grace Dota.
Okay.
He went on, I want to say it was like a 5-minute rant about how Assault Caress is basically, I forget the number he gave, but it was giving everyone on your team, like, or it was like worth a total of like 8,000 gold because of that armor. And it might seem silly to evaluate the ability that way, but in some senses it's true. Like,
Yeah.
if you're up against that much physical damage, give everyone a plate mail. That's a lot. If you time it right, if the physical damage is what they need and they can't get it off, makes the difference.
Plate mail gives you 10. This
Yeah.
gives you 16. So plate mail
Yeah.
and a half, and then some. So Beastmaster, physical damage. He gives you attack speed. His axes are composite, so that's physical
And
there
it's
as
move
well.
speed as well. It's like giving everyone
Yeah.
the drums and then some, too.
Yeah, Gyrocopter, mostly physical. Sure, he has flag call down. That's, some magical, but that's fine. Chaos Knight, physical damage as well. Like, your Wisp is gonna tank. And that's not really good. And keep in mind that Wisp, one thing that we haven't talked about last game, is that overcharge makes whoever's being overcharged take less damage. So we have a lot of tanky heroes right now in Quantic. It doesn't seem like so. And now this is as offensive as you could go. A double nuke support hero from a Crystal Maiden, a Visage, 2 600 range support heroes for the Chaos Knight. They are just going hard against Quantic.
Rattlesnake
Offensive
has
trialing.
so much burst and so much aggression. And my one kind of concern here for Quantic, they don't have many avenues to force fights. They have Relocate, and they have Stormbolt. That's pretty much it. You look at Rattlesnake, Chaos Knight can start the fight, Gyro can just drop a call down and charge in, Beastmaster can roar. Rattlesnake have so much offensive firepower. If they get to the mid game intact, I mean, I don't feel like I did last game, where Quantic had CK Wisp and Prophet, and they had the Keeper Light to stop the 5-man aggression. So Rattlesnake couldn't push. They had Prophet to split push. You look at Quantic this game, they've got their Wisp, but they don't have the partners. They don't have the Prophet to split push. They don't have the Keeper of the Light to stall the pushes as well. They're a bit lacking on counter push. They've got Leshrac, which is okay, but
Maybe this last pick.
I think this last pick is very important to me, because right now I feel like there are a lot of holes in Quantic's lineup, whereas last game, 4 picks in, I felt like they almost had a completed draft.
I think this is Warlock right here, man.
Warlock?
Because Vacuum or Lich. Or Lich. Oh my goodness. Is this the armor strat?
It's the armor strat, I guess. Yeah, you get early Buckler on fucking Mad. You get your Warcry. You've got your Ice Armor. It's a lot of armor.
And mid and a Beast. Okay.
There's still nuke damage on Rattlesnake. Let's not forget about that.
LD, you were talking about whether they have initiation. Let me stop you for a second and take you back to DreamHack when Old Man Fear had a vacuum and one-man cleave and team wipe the enemy team.
This was DreamHack Winter 2012. It was EG versus Navi, I believe.
Yes.
And that was
Navi got team wipe with one cleave. So
you got to get there though. You have to farm those items. If you're gonna do that, you need your Daedalus. You need your BKB, your treads, your next big item on top of it.
he has 200% damage increase on Gauss strength. I mean, you don't need much.
What's 200% of 58, Lumi?
Well, he's not 16 right now, but hopefully he'll have a little bit more damage. But it is time to introduce the teams, as we are in Game 3 between Quantic versus Rattlesnake. And for Rattlesnake, they're storming down to enemy jungle, setting down some wards. Kabu on that support Crystal Maiden. Lamb on the solo mid Beastmaster. He's been playing mid so far in this tournament. IC is going to be playing your Chaos Knight. Luo, it's going to be your one-road Gyrocopter. Last but not least, Neo is going to be playing that Visage. Ooh, trees being cut down. So this is something that looks like they want to be tower diving quite a bit early on.
And look at those stats. And this is what we mean. Thank you very much. Shout out to Vikramon, at Vikramon on Twitter if you want to follow him, doing all the stats for us here today. But it's the Wisp that makes the difference. The Chaos Knight is a replaceable partner here. At least statistically, that is the case.
That's so sad for CK.
CK's like, I thought we had something special.
I know.
Wisp sleeps around, man. Do not EO is not a one man or a one hero
One
kind
thing.
of gal.
Yeah, I don't.
Spirit, whatever you want to call it. On the side of Quantic, though, you've got your Russians and you've got your French. We'll start with the French. Effie Mad on the Darkseer, Goblak, the Russian, on the Leshrac. We have Sakshka playing your farming Sven in the safe lane. Silent, one of the keys to their success in game number 2. He'll be playing the Wisp here again. Great usage of Tether, killing off the trees, dewarding in a hurry. The camp will not be blocked. Very important in that shrine. And then that leaves us with Funzy, the last Frenchman. He'll be going top lane as the Lich.
So we haven't seen Lich on the long lane for quite a bit. In a 1v1 matchup, Lich is king because you're sapping his experience gain every once in a while by using Sacrifice in his face. So Luo's got to get a ton of regen. He's got 6 tangos, and that's going to be a great way to start. But
And it's as we've talked about a lot with Quantic, is Goblak, his genius and his strength is finding ways just to win the lanes. You know, get something. Obviously, their draft last game went late, but they found a way with the Nature's Prophet to slow down Rattlesnake's level progression just a bit in the jungle. They found a way to get an early level 6 on the Wisp, and the laning stage always more important for this team than it is for many others. And, well, you run that Lich solo. He's going to get very fast level 6. And then if you dive into Lich, you're diving into Chain Frost. And let me remind you, Lumi, the new Chain Frost, it has a few extra bounces up
10
its
times
sleeve.
in
10
total.
times. If this thing's bouncing, you're dying.
I saw that change and I laughed a little bit because generally,
It doesn't bounce.
I mean, yeah, at first it doesn't bounce, and if the Chain Frost bounce 6 times and you don't win the team fight, I don't think the extra 4 bounces, will take you there. But
But it's still awesome.
Yeah,
if you do get off that amazing 3-4 hero Chain Frost and just win a
they
fight.
have vacuum, they have they have the Stormhammer. to
It's
set up.
actually a great point. Is they've got the vacuum could be huge this game.
Yeah.
FA Mad, level 4 vacuum sets up Stormbolt to hit everyone. It sets up the Tether stun to hit everyone. It sets up everything
Split
on their
Earth.
team.
Yeah, that set up that thing as well.
So I would say you're probably your most important hero this game for the fights will be effing Mad.
Yeah, and he is getting that solo mid. We haven't talked about this particular lane too much. Lamb's gonna have trouble because, as well as Inner Beast push the lane to help you harass, it does not push as well as the Iron Shell. And more importantly, effing Mad, every time he finds the opportunity to do so, he's trying to stack this level 1 camp to give him a little bit more farm. Unfortunately, he missed the last stack by just a tiny bit and missed out on a little bit of value there.
Little bit of value, and then he misses out on a rune as well. Nice job by Kabu securing that. Still, I want to point out, Rattlesnake have done a good job of stopping the Wisp from getting easy pulls off. They warded the camp, Quantic dewarded it immediately, but then they rewarded with the Sentry, and only just now have Quantic been able to deward. So we're 2.5 minutes in. They've missed a total of 3 creep spawns already, and only now can they maybe look to pull.
Also, I want to point out that Kabu has picked the Frostbite as level 1. It is the higher damaging nuke compared to...
Better single target killing spell?
Yep.
Not as good and more of a 3v3 clash, though.
It's definitely a lot better when you're going on the offensive. So they definitely think they are the more offensive team, and they're correct on that. And look at this Kabu.
The Ward Wars continue.
Yep.
I mean, this was when the Asian teams were talking about Wisp in interviews, a lot of them said they felt, we're going in now. We'll hold that thought. Kabu, he's been storm-bolted up, caught out of position, and now Kabu drops in a hurry. He had a DD rune. The Frostbite's there. Who's going to go down first? It's Goblak. First blood goes the way of Rattlesnake. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Now Silent could be in trouble. The Tether is available. Not choosing to use it yet. They're separating. Now Tether's back, but there is no soul assumption. They need like 2 more hits here. They can't quite get it. Great use of the Tether. Both heroes separating to spread themselves apart, and in the end, they do secure a retreat. 1-for-1, but the first blood to Rattlesnake, decent start for them, and they need it against that Wisp.
Yeah, Neo could have actually clarity up during that team fight, and maybe brought up enough mana for soul assumption. Unfortunately, that did not happen. But yeah, winning that team fight means you pick up magic sticks, you pick up boots of speed, and those items are king in kind of these small-scale engagement. But that's somewhat dangerous if you're Quantic. You say, we see the Crystal Maiden out of position, we go on first, traditionally a very weak support, very slow, very low armor hero, but they don't even get that first kill despite Crystal Maiden being out of position. That's got to be a huge concern if you're Quantic.
Oh man, effing Mad. He ran to the bottom rune. He really wanted to get it. Normally you check the top, but in the end the rune spawns to the top side and Lamb will pick it up. So we've looked a lot at the tri-lane. So far, slight advantage there to Rattlesnake. I mean, actually significant because they continue to block the pull. Silence level 3, 4 minutes in, which is actually quite good, but you look at Goblak, only level 2, Sven level 4. They're not getting as much out of this tri-lane as what they normally would like if they're just left unchecked. But the question is, how are the solo lanes going so far?
Well, Lich, you imagine him doing well. He's level 5.5, and if we check on Luo right now, who's eating a blast in the face, he's actually keeping up in terms of level. So you can see how Luo is pulling to the right and stacking by himself. I mean, Normally, have your support to do something like this, but he is impressive on his own right. Although Fungi says, thank you for the pull. Now time for some EXP.
Now time for me to farm it. Level 3 Frostblast. He actually went for a null talisman here. Now backs off for his Tranquil Boots. Generally, that offlane Lich will go for the mech. Mid lane, though, Lamb's got a roar. It won't be our first blow, but it could be a kill. The Surge is going to wear off. Needs one more hit.
Nice.
What a play by Lamb. Darkseer versus Beastmaster. You really don't expect that. But a beautifully executed gank. Roars him at the maximum range, basically. Wastes as much of the Surge time as possible, and then follows up for the kill.
Yeah, now he is kind of free to start roaming around the map. Once his call down is available, he has to smoke at the seat as well.
I do want to point out, a lot of the reason that kill happened was because he didn't get the rune. So he spends a lot of time going for the rune. The Beastmaster hits level 6 a bit sooner than Lamb, and now Lamb's level 7. And already that lane looking very good. But the bad rune luck for Quantic is costing them a bit here.
I want to actually ask you a question. How do you think this tri-lane is going on the bottom for Rattlesnake? They got the first blood. There's really no pulling going on the other side because it's always blocked off. So is Quantic really in big trouble? If you look at the Wisp, he's 3.5.
I mean, I'd say it's pretty even. Maybe slightly ahead because Rattlesnake, they all have boots and a magic stick. Well, 2 of the important heroes. Kabu does not, but I don't think it's enough yet. They got a solo kill mid. That's nice. Your Gyro is farming, but still, they haven't completely shut down the tri-lane. They're not face rolling it. They're not taking the tower yet. I think Quantic's still okay here. They've stabilized. They gave up 1 kill. It's not the end of the world. Their goal now is to start pulling, just avoid fights, and keep an eye out for that Beastmaster, because you know Lamb is going to be on the hunt. We've seen Xiao 8 run the solo mid Beastmaster before, and when he's on his A game, this hero can just completely win the other lanes. And a well-timed smoke gank, a well-timed TP can turn the tides.
Yeah, he seems fairly basic as a hero. It's a single target stun. It's, you know, your generic nuke, but at the same time, he gives you so much kind of fighting force, especially with the push aside ability of that Primal Roar. If you push aside Sven, it's 50% slow in both movement speed and attack speed. He's not moving, he's not attacking, and that's really how you want to keep the enemy Sven. A pull attempt to tunnel through on the bottom tri-lane, and Rattlesnake completely onto that, farms away.
Mid lane again, though. There's a roar for FP Mad, and there's also a Frostbite down Hoko again. Beautiful ganks. This one executed by Kabu, but as soon as they see that, Quantic says, great, now we go in bottom and we'll try and equalize things. Unfortunately, not working out too well for them. They could even maybe go in on silent, but, well, there was the right play by Quantic. You see a TP mid, you know that there's one here off the try, immediately you jump, but Rattlesnake were prepared for that. They were very far back, and you can't really go on the Chaos Knight here. He's much too tanky.
Yeah, he's got that strength threats as well, so he's not dying. I gotta say, one of the most impressive Beastmaster in recent memory, because every time that Beastmaster Roar is on cooldown, he's finding kills, and that's how you want to set up. And more importantly, we were saying that Darkseer is gonna be a big important hero, because his vacuum is what sets up every team fight for Quantic. And the fact that he's got died twice means his mech or pipe is going to get delayed. If you want, oh, looks like we're going to initiate right on Sock, but immediately the entire team comes in. Sven's going to go on Icy. Icy's going to get bursted down. You cannot jump on Sven because he's got armor, he's got tank, and Rattlesnake just explodes on that.
He's got the right clicks, he's got a storm mode as well, he's diving Sagam here, but I don't know, that soul assumption might be a bit too much. Silent diving as well. Magic stick up, there's a TP reaction from the Gyro. Can he find any kills in time? Cooldown's there, Silent jukes out of it. He doesn't have a fresh tether here though, he'll go down, but man, it was a great juke nonetheless. Everything he could to live. They force the Gyro TP and they get a couple of kills. Great reaction.
Great reaction, and to be honest, it was a mistake for Rattlesnake.
You can't go on Sven.
You cannot. I mean, I thought they figured out, because for the past 6-7 minutes, they haven't been going on him.
Can I just point out, he's got 1100 HP, 8 armor without, well, now he's Pop Warcry, sorry, but yeah.
He also has more than 58 damage, and once he increases that by 200%, you know, he's going to be hitting hard, eventually.
Yeah, he's got access to Godstray now. He's level 6, and Rattlesnake, the tri-lane was going fine before that fight. It wasn't a huge win, it was a slight advantage, perhaps, but all of a sudden, Chaos Knight's only level 4. He's the same level as the enemy Wisp. Sven's 6. This is where it's up to Lamb, it's up to Luo. They had a good start in their lanes. They've won both of their lanes fairly convincingly, especially the Beastmaster mid. They've got to find kills.
Beastmaster is going to find Gold Black. Oh, he doesn't find the roar. He
gets fogged. It's nighttime.
Oh, man.
That hurts. He was smoked up. He got by the ward, but now there's a stun on Luo. They need a roar here. They need it now. The cooldown comes through. The Chain Frost is a bounce in. No extra bounces. Cooldown hits everyone. Funzy's low. Not dead yet. Luo on the backside picked off, and now they're driven back. Herded like cattle. Brought down. And Rattlesnake lose too. They didn't have Sagam there.
Icy, though, finds a solo kill in the jungle.
In the end, though, the Wisp isn't dying. The Sven's not dying, and they're still hunting mid, actually. Still chasing Icy.
They see him.
He's got a TP. I don't know if he can get out here, though. Radiant Ward's here. It might even go in on mid.
TPs.
You know, the problem for Rattlesnake is Quantic's just getting the initiation on them every single fight.
Well, I mean, they were trying to get that initiation on Gold Black. Gold Black just fogs them by a tiny bit. I mean,
it was this ward, though. This ward gives them the vision for that.
No, they were smoked.
Well, no, but I mean after the smoke failed.
Yeah, and then...
Then they had the vision, and Quantic get the jump, and Gyro just got bursted.
Oh my god, CM Kabu? I mean, the relocate's on. Kabu says, I see it coming. I'm going to tank the tower, but I have no TP.
Where else does he go?
Oh no,
No
Kabu.
way out here. Plinked down by Silence. Crystal Matey cannot be sitting in the off lane by herself.
Well,
I mean, she just can't. You're up against Wisp. Wisp is level 6.
I'm gonna guess that when Rattlesnake picked this and gave away Wisp, the game plan was not to have CM feeding a kill on the bot lane for that.
If they go on to lose this game, they're gonna ban Wisp, right?
Well, they're gonna be eliminated if they lose another one, so they better ban Wisp.
Well, they'll be on the ropes if they do. Of course, it's not over just yet. Score 7-6. Gold is only just now tipped away with Quantic experience, going their way a bit more heavily. Still a pretty open game, but mid lane we might have a clash. The tether in from Silent retreats back out. The tower dropping quickly. Rattlesnake do have Inner Beast, 2 points in already, and they do have a decent pushing lineup. Now they get their familiars. It is a lineup that can try and sneak a Roche very early. Will they go for it now?
Yeah, they're just going to smoke right behind there. I'm not sure if they're going to go into the Roshan pit. I mean, going into the Roche pit against Vacuum Chain Frost is...
No, they're on the hunt.
Yeah, and when you have a Beastmaster Roar like this, it's probably a very smart idea. Sock, though, not sure if he's trying to go for this pull.
Wrapping around, heading towards mid. Lamb in front. He wants Silent. He'll find him quickly. Roar's there. This time there won't be any jukes. Or no, there won't.
Oh, they're looking for
always
a
thought
little
about
more.
the tether.
Chaos Knight stun?
They've got a stun, but he's getting fogged.
Oh my goodness, this nighttime is so juke.
Quantic really need they really need a day stalker right now because they just want to make it daytime so damn badly.
Oh, Luo is gonna get stunned on the bot tower. Immediate rainbows of TP coming right back in, and Luo is the okay. Chain Frost just as a slow. It's not too bad.
Such hate, and Flua says, "Man, screw you! I'm going down with this ship. I'm taking you with me." Chaos Knight jumping in. They get 2 on the backside though. Silence relocated in, but might well, probably will pay with his life. Kabu
Crystal Mason ultimate
ends him. Come over here. Drops the freezing field. Oh man. Kabu, that was some sweet, sweet vengeance for him, though.
It was. I mean, it's got chased down.
Let me just say that's like one of the only times this game he'll get vengeance, because it's gonna be Wisp hunting Kabu almost all game.
Yeah, I mean, but sometimes you just drop a Nova, you drop an ultimate, and you pick up a kill. He's gonna get Tranquil. It's gonna be a little bit quicker now, but
kick them all down. That's the goal.
How are we actually doing the game? Because it's pretty crazy so far, and generally crazier games, I want to say favors Quantic a little bit more, right? They have a lineup that's a little bit more mobile with the Wisp. They have big AoE ultimates like Chain Frost and Vacuum. Although, with that said, they haven't really landed them so far.
Yeah, exactly. They haven't gotten their combo right, and I think the big issue is that Darkseer died twice. There's still no mech for them. He does have a level 4 Vacuum now. We're 13 minutes in. It's still going to be a pretty fast mech. He's done a really nice job of staying in this game. But imagine if FEMAT hadn't died. He would have had a mech in these last few fights, and I think Quantic would have just run away with them with that. Because you look at Rattlesnake, they just completed their mech now on Lamb. So they wouldn't have had a mech. Rattlesnake wouldn't have, and Quantic would have made all the difference. But now we head towards the mid game. I think if you're Rattlesnake, you try and sneak a Roche here somehow, get a medallion up on Sagam. I still think it's tough for them to go as 5. If you go 5, you go into this huge AoE combo we've talked about, and if you don't, you risk the relocate gang. So I still think strategically, Rattlesnake's in kind of a tough position here.
Yeah, I agree as well. I mean, not having really the ability to find mana as effectively as the enemy team really takes the option out of you. You could sneak a Roche, but it's a sneak. It's not like we're Roshing, and you know we're Roshing, but you can't do a damn thing about it. Rattlesnake does not have that option. They're going to try to push a tier 1, and I'm not sure about this, because mechs on the front line, there's a double damage on Darkseer, which doesn't mean too much, but there's also relocate. They could get pincered very easily.
I don't know if Quantic care to defend this, though. They might just be content to trade. There's 2 heroes mid, and it looks like they're out of position to defend, so they won't. They'll give up the tier 1 top, the least important tower in the entire game, because it's not near Roshan, and it's a tier 1 in a side lane.
Chaos Knight thinking about going right in against Funzy. TPs are coming in. 3 seconds stun, but he's so damn tanky. Slurf comes, but there's a call down too. No Chain Frost being tossed out just yet. Funzy gets Roar. He's got 99 problems, but Lich ain't one. But here comes the Sven with relocate. Chops one down, and they're now on the run. The Wisp is going to get back out. Sock's going to be alive. I think a Soul Assumption from downtown brings him down.
3 for 1. 3 for 1. If he got off the Chain Frost there, completely different fight, but couldn't. Beautiful chain stun.
Do you go Roche now?
How
I think you do.
How often does a Beastmaster choose to roar a Lich in a team fight?
I mean, if it's
that takes some great presence of mind. Lamb, he's been the calm and steady hand at the wheel for Rattlesnake. When a lot of their players have been overextending, making some, showing some nerves, Lamb has been cool as a cucumber, and now with the medallion, they do take Roche.
How well has Lamb played? I mean, even in the game that played Nix's last game, wasn't, he missed a couple impales right on the bot lane as we see
yeah, but overall I thought his movement was great.
Yep.
His decision making was quite solid. There were a few mechanical mistakes. I won't say he played perfectly, but overall he's been by far the standout for Rattlesnake.
Yeah, of course, Sagan picking up the medallion means the Roshan is quite easy, and now, I mean, I don't think, again, Rattlesnake,
they've got a roar in 10 seconds here, and they're hunting.
Oh, Funzy.
Oh, dodging away. The Hawk wasn't there to give them vision in time.
Unfortunately, the Hawk is not hasted when Beastmaster picks up a haste.
This is really big for Rattlesnake, though. I can't stress how important getting that Aegis is, because now, even if Quantic drop their whole combo, Luo can just sit through it, calmly wait, then BKB after he dies and come back, and then what do Quantic have left after the combo?
He's got to be very... Well, it depends on how Quantic plays it, because if he revives under a Tether Wisp link, then he gets stuns, and I think Quantic could control that, so it depends on how Quantic plays it, but yeah, most of the time he has a free BKB.
Yeah, probably like 5 times out of 6 or something. He should be able to get it off, at least for round 2. Rattlesnake now pushing the bottom tier 1. The trade is there for Quantic. I like this choice. They have Aegis. They're grouped up as 5. Why fight? Try to split push instead. Unfortunately, though, Goblak might go down here. He didn't TP out immediately. In fact, he didn't even have one, so he gets the tier 1, but it'll be at the cost of his own life, and his team's giving up a tier 2. Oh, this ain't ideal. Maybe not. Goblak low. He will fall to the barrage. Now Silent. There's your call down. There's 2 familiars in this fight. The Rocket's doing a lot of work. Luo, though, Aegis popped.
Nice.
Aegis for a Lich. Good trade for Quantic, and they might kill him again.
Vacuum.
Where's the backup? It comes now. Smoke on Icy just to get him here quicker. But it looks like they're all going to get out, at least for the time being. Wisp retreating out with Lich. A very odd pairing, to say the least.
The Burst is going to get a stun on effing Mad, right?
The missile's coming in. They'll wait for the missile here. Then they'll go. They've got to kill it off. Plink, look for the stun. Silent's got to stay out of range here. The Familiar's just right-clicking Silent. They won't let him do a thing. Effing Mad to fall. Silent trapped in the trees. It looks like he'll barely escape with his own life. Now a buyback from the Darkseer. They know Aegis is down, and they want to take a fight now.
Sven's going to cut them off on the back line. God Strength, and where's the Stormhammer?
It's going to go on the board!
Oh, no! 4 seconds stun on Sock, and now maybe only the other way, but you just run, my man. Icy gets stunned up, vacuum back, call down on top of everything. Icy's going to get burst down. Luo's on the run, but he's fighting his way out of this one, trying to kill everybody. He might kill Goldblack. He does. Crystal Maiden getting some help. Funzy's going to get yet another kill. Kaboom, my man, gets a double on CM.
He ain't done yet. He's hunting Effie Mad now. Effie Mad is going to be able to escape. He stunned the boar. Oh, if you're a Rattlesnake fan, or rather a Quantic fan, he had a 2-hero stun. The setup was there. He's got to be kicking himself right now.
Goodness.
That one hurts. That hurts so bad.
It did. I mean, sometimes say...
I will tell you right now, nobody is madder at what just happened than this fan. Sakshka has to be furious with himself.
Well, I think effing Mad maybe a little bit.
Touche.
Touche, right. Crystal Maiden getting level 9, and this is one of the higher CM level I've seen in a while, and to be honest, once she gets a Ghost Scepter, like, she's actually going to be a big deal in these team fights. She also dropped a Freezing Field in that last fight.
Well, I mean, I think the adrenaline's coursing through your veins. I'm not convinced about Kabu yet.
I
mean, he's already done his job. Like, even if he doesn't have a big impact in team fights, he's done his job. But so where do we go from here for Rattlesnake? 18 minutes in, they're leading by about 6-7k gold, about 5k experience. Mechs up, Luo backs off for Helm of the Dominator, now going probably to complete the BKB. Chaos Knight's about to have his. Do Rattlesnake just sit back and farm? Do they feel any pressure? What are there any timey windows for their team, I guess is the question.
I think the big difference, well, I'll answer your question by talking about Wisp.
Okay.
And the difference, what we see from this game and last game. This game, the ganks are a lot more cleaner. Like, once they find one, they just go for the kill. The Aegis helped out there, even in long chases, so even when Gyro dies, they could keep chasing because the spells are on cooldown. Also, because Quantic's heroes are a lot squishier by nature, sure, you have Frost Armor, but at the end of the day, they are still Lich, they're still Leshrax, they're still Wisp. So they could go for these really good kill. I think Rattlesnake, if they have enough smokes, and let me quickly check if they have enough in their stash. If they have enough smokes, they should probably go for more smoke ganks. Unfortunately, they have ran out in all of them. So I think you stay back a little bit, ancient up, and that's kind of what they're doing.
Just the one smoke on Kabu right now, and still no BKBs yet for them, actually. So Luo backs off. I do want to point out, we've seen this a lot from our Visage players lately, is just fantastic usage of the familiars in the mid game. Constantly blocking the enemy ancients. You can stop them from stacking, scouting the runes, and it limits Quantic's avenues to out-farm their opponents and win late game. Because Sakshka, he's got a BKB now. It's a great window for Quantic to fight. But Sven is one of those heroes that can just go hard and slaughter ancients. Here they come, though.
5-man smoke gang.
By the way, I do want to point out, he actually maxed his cleave this game, not Warcry. I don't know if we have much time to talk about it now, but that's a little bit unusual to say the least. They're jumping in now, and Icy, can they catch him in time? He's going to Phantasm at the right moment there. Turns it around. The BKB is out from the Sven, and Icy's just going to melt. Say hello to Papa Sven. In comes Sakshka, kited and slowed, but when he gets those chops, they really hurt. The Frost is bouncing. The Lich is the hero. They get 2. They get 3. The Chaos Knight bought back. Now on to Sakshka, but BKB's done, and he's donezo. Wow, that Chain Frost did work, but the buybacks and the fact that they had a tier 2 up made the difference.
Funzy.
Now Funzy could be the 4th casualty of war. They really dove for that fight. He's hiding in the trees.
He knows exactly.
He jukes. He's not getting out of this one. There just is no way. He'll run. Icy says, give me your gold. He can't. The Tranquil Boot move speed. He should go down eventually.
Nightfall's too strong, guys. Funzy's on the run. The rocket's on him right now. He doesn't have a TP.
Rattlesnake really need to pay their respects to Ra, the sun god, for those who follow their Egyptian mythology, because they're just being brutalized by this darkness. But at long last, they find him and they pick him off. They did have to buy back on their CK, but Luo's made most of the money back. Well worth it for them. Whew. They have a lot of ways to kite this Fen. That's really what we saw there. They've got the Roar slow. They have the
Roar slow was huge. It was 50%.
And the cooldown. The two of those combined, Sven was barely moving.
Both those spells go through BKB. So, but, I mean, they hit a 5, 6, 7 bounce on the Chain Frost, and they
still lost the fight.
So
needs 12 bounces.
I mean,
Ice Frog fix, please.
I think most of it was the tier 2 tower still up there, and Icy was able to buy back a TP. Because if CK died and didn't have a TP, it would have been a wipe the other way. So good thing for Icy, saving for buyback. He didn't finish his BKB because of that. But now they win a big one, and they're pulling ahead in terms of EXP. They're pulling ahead in terms of gold.
Wow, only once before this international. Although Sven off of that fight is level 14, so now he's got everything maxed. Now he's got a level 4 Warcry.
All right,
so.
just to answer your question on that one, I think if you want to go cleave, generally your teams are stacking ancients for you. You're stacking.
But they couldn't because of
they
the
couldn't.
Visage.
The birds are there, so it was a kind of a different skill build. It makes sense, but I thought you would pick the Warcry for the
yeah, because there's so much physical damage on Rattlesnake. I mean, it's like you said, the familiars really negate your ability to stack the ancients. And the other thing is, I mean, it makes sense though, because he is their only damage dealer. Like, you go late enough, Quantic has some utility heroes, but they only have one hero that right-clicks. So Sakshka does need to be super fat. So you can understand why you'd go cleave, but at the same time, this armor would have made a difference. There's a medallion on the Visage. I don't want to harp on it too much, because they do have the level 4 now, but it feels like one of those decisions that maybe could have turned a few fights.
Yeah, I agree as well. Although, speaking of armor, we do see some armor items being picked up here on the Gyrocopter as well. I talked about this build is the kind of the ideal build you want to go for if you feel like you're doing okay in the game. The Ogre Club into a helm, because it just gives you a ton of utility. It gives you that mid-game armor. The +8 is very, very important against right-clicks. And then you finish the BKB because, well, BKB helps you win team fights.
Now the familiars continuing to just pressure the ancients.
They smoke up, and I think they want to charge up the hill. But I think this ward has actually seen the smoke of Gyrocopter, so...
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be too successful, but they might catch Goblek in the river. Lamb's on the hunt for him. And Lamb is going to have an Ag soon, which means you've got the longer range Roar in all of these team fights. And it allows Lamb to pretty much be everywhere. And
look
now,
at this huge stack of ancients.
One team is familiars, one team doesn't. And look who's getting the big stack now. It's Luo.
Well,
all of a sudden, BKB's ready, and he's got his next item.
Yeah, the helm allowing
in the
stack
making.
like this also really helps out, so...
Yeah, so this is where the Helm of Iron Will pays off. If you get it and they don't start fighting you right then, you get off a few stacks, they don't block them, then the item's paid for itself. It's a very useful item late game anyway. It builds directly into Satanic. Now Rattlesnake pulling a bit farther ahead. I mean, gold is still fairly even, but for me, if they have ways to deal with a fat Sven late game.
Right.
So I don't feel like if Sven just farms all day, you can just Sven Wisp, guaranteed win.
I mean,
there is the Vacuum Cleave. There's the Vacuum into Stormbolt. There are still some ways for Quantic to take huge team fights. But I feel like Rattlesnake have a lot more tools in their arsenal to deal with what Quantic are throwing their way. Compared to Game 2, I felt like Game 2 they had very few ways to deal with the split push and to deal with the CK Wisp.
I mean, I still think that Quantic has that one wonky team fight where they can vacuum and split off the whole team and then just go for the wipe.
And get all 10 bounces.
Well, I don't think the 10 bounces will come out. Maybe 2 bounce, and then the team is dead. But
You gotta believe, Lumi.
well, if the team fight goes for that long, I think Rattlesnake are winning those team fights. Because I think Quantic, if they win a fight, it's through the Sven burst damage. And if you know what he's going, is he going for MOM? I think he has to, right?
He's now picked up a Crystalist. Okay, so just casual Mask of Death. Generally, the build is like Mask of Madness Armlet, but he's going for more of a late game build here, I guess, where he goes straight for the Crystalist, skips the Armlet, and will go straight into Daedalus. Because it does feel like he just needs one huge crit during the BKB, or they just lose the fight.
Well, hopefully he also doesn't stun boars instead of heroes in the next fights as well, because...
Oh, Lumi.
Well,
Poor Sakshka. He's already suffered so much.
I know.
Don't rub any salt in the wound.
All right, no more salt.
No more salt. Hold the salt, please. We're 25 minutes in. It's game 3 of a best of 5. It's your International 3 Western... Or sorry, I was about to say Western qualifiers. It's not. It's your
We're
International
well past
3
the Western
wild card match. Man, we cast so many
By the way,
qualifier
IC
videos.
is just like roaming through the jungle by himself and go black.
The winner of this moves into the big dance, though. $2.8 million in the prize pool and rising. You can still buy a compendium and support the event if you want to. But the net might close here on FEMAD in just a split second. Oh no, this looks bad. They really can't afford to lose this Darkseer now, but can they relocate into this and make it work?
Reality?
Nope. Caught, picked off, dead. No way out for FEMAD.
Well,
Sure, you've got the relocate, but they have a tower up there, and they had several heroes off the map. I feel like Quantic just pressing a little bit now. You sense maybe they're feeling a little bit under the gun here.
yeah, and again, Rattlesnake isn't going for big dives in front of tier 2 when they find kills. They wait for the kills to mostly present themselves, and when they feel strong enough as a unit, and when they don't feel strong enough, the big difference, like you pointed out repeatedly, is that last game, there was heroes like Nature's Prophet and Keeper of Light that could find farm in the jungle or everywhere else. This game, Rattlesnake is doing that. They're farming the jungle well, they're farming the Ancients well, they get the second Aegis, and now even Visage has picked up
Jesus.
Axe Scepter, so...
You know, the only guy who might not do a whole lot is Kabu. But that being said, he's got access to a Ghost Scepter.
She's level 11. All I'm saying is that Freezing Field also applies a 20% slow to Sven.
The great thing about Crystal Maiden is when everyone else on your team is a threat, she gets ignored. So
Yeah.
if she does get off her ult, as much as we're kind of kidding around about it, she could really be the secret hero.
I'm
of one
not
of these
kidding
fights.
about CM, big carry.
I've seen your CM guides, Lumi. Jungling from level 1.
Jungle CM legit, but we have a different time and place for that. But right now, look at the global control. Like, you have 3 birds and then a hawk just kind of going overhead. Their push is so strong. Let's not forget that these Hawk will also be a big part of way to stop Sven later on once this BKB runs out.
If you're Rattlesnake, I do think they can't relax here too much. They haven't won this game yet. Keep on blocking the Ancient Spawns with your familiars. Keep on scouting aggressively with the Hawk. Keep the pressure up on Quantic rather right now. You've got your Aegis up on the Gyrocopter. The Butterfly's coming soon. You could force some fights here. You can limit their farm. You should not sit back and play defensively. Game 2, they had to. Game 3, they do not. Game 3, they should push their advantage. And it looks like they are.
Yeah, they also have a gem on Lamb, and this Beastmaster having gem is one of my favorite gem holders, because with that Beastmaster Hawk, he's going to limit vision all of them at. If you look at Radiant Vision right now, they got none, right? For a Wisp that wants to find people free pickoff in the enemy jungle, if you have no vision, you don't know where they are, and you can't find those pickoffs. So
Decent spread here. They're not contesting Rattlesnake. They'll give up a tier 2 mid, and Rattlesnake say, come fight us. We're coming for your base. There is a Darkseer TP back. It all comes down to a big vac here. If they don't get one, it could be trouble. Godblack caught out of position. BKB from Icy. Triple familiars. The Air Force flying high. There's a vac. There's a wall.
Frost.
There is a Chain Frost, but it bounces the wrong way. The RNG just not with them. No, it is the cleave. What the hell? That cleave. It looked like the Chain Frost was doing the damage, but it was the one crit. It brings them low. Now they stunned Lamb, and they've defended. They might even find some kills, or maybe Visage is your secret hero. The familiars are melting, though. 300 gold down the drain. Kabu on the run. Gyro does live, does preserve the Aegis. There's still a relocate here. Not being used yet. Now relocating forward, but Lamb heading north.
She's got Force Staff.
Oh, Force Staff. The Courier dies, and Kabu falls. They do save their Beastmaster. A great defense for Quantic. They needed one cleave. One crit.
I'm telling you, you can never count on this combo because Vacuum Cleave always.
It honestly looked like Chain Frost was doing the damage there. I was like, these heroes are BKB'd, and then I saw the spin.
Chain Frost is the one that slows them down so Sven could do the damage, but I think they somewhat overcommitted on that Leshrac kill. I mean, you're killing a 5-0 Leshrac, using a call down, using your
It's
your CK
Godblack,
stun.
though. You've got to take the diabolical genius out of his comfort
You
zone.
do, but at the same time, your Beastmaster Roar and your Call Down are the two spells that will slow down Sven, and they gotta slow down Sven. You cannot allow her to... Sven is one of those heroes that if he wins 2 team fights, he gets a tier 4 item. Right now he has a Mask of Madness, and this guy's scary.
Yeah, he got his Mask of Madness recipe, he got a Daedalus recipe, and he's got another 1900 gold. So he's picked up like close to a tier 4 item just from that fight and the farming since then. And now, well, this is where Sven sort of reaches his zenith, because the BKB is still pretty healthy. It's an 8-second BKB. You go late enough, and the BKB duration wears off. There's a lot of burst damage and a lot of chain stun on Rattlesnake. You always have Wisp to keep him stronger. You always have some support, but you really, if you're Quantic, want to make the best possible use out of these next few charges. And for Rattlesnake, I think it's kind of a similar situation. You still have Aegis. You want to make this one count.
Yeah, I mean, Sven, I think, even if he gets
And they're hunting. They're going to find Silent here. Pulled back in, roared as well. That's some hate. That is a dead Wisp.
Yep.
And when you kill off the Wisp, not only do you get a kill, but you don't have to worry about getting
I think you push right now, right down the mid lane, if you're Quantic.
up in 40
Rattlesnake,
seconds. There is actually no buyback on Wisp, though they certainly don't know that. I don't think they could really get there in time, but they could get the lane pushed in.
Well, they're gonna definitely try. Although you see rest of Quantic doing a very good job. Even the Lich is split pushing. So, and Lich is not gonna get punished. There's no prof in this game. There's no.
It's kind of pathetic though, watching Lich split push.
She's got that drum. So that creep wave is going hard. And look, even Frost armor on that melee creep tanking in the front line. Every little bit helps.
Meanwhile, a flock of familiars flying high. You know, it's the Ags on the Visage is really a double-edged sword here, because he gave away a lot of gold. That was 300 familiar gold to the Sven. They got a courier kill. He got a bunch of other hero kills. Visage can feel quite useless against these huge right-click heroes in the mid-game.
Well, we do have a butterfly back up here on Gyrocopter, and definitely there is no double scythe this game. Deal with that.
Darkseer not even going for one, actually. There was effing mad. He went for the point booster. He goes back for a force staff. Just wants to try and run from Rattlesnake while their BKBs are up and then turn around. But it means no scythe for him, and nobody else is going to build one anytime soon. Your Lich has a Ghost Scepter, so if they get a scythe, it'll be like a 45, 50-minute scythe, probably.
Yeah, I actually like the force staff quite a bit on effing man for both defensive and offensive purposes. If you see the enemy team clump up, you force yourself in for a big vacuum. But more importantly, if your Sven gets Beastmaster Roar, for example, you can force him out. So it's pretty good as an item, and I like the fact that he picked it up.
Yeah, generally having something like that, or a Shadow Demon, some great single target ability to disengage, is really helpful against the Beastmaster. As a Gyrocopter missile actually flies in. I think they know they're smoked because of that. Because it just flew in there, and it doesn't affect invisible units. So
Rattlesnake goes for this push right now with Aegis running out in about 10 seconds or so. And
do they actually want to fight? If they lose one big fight now, Sven gets his next item, and your item progression is completely halted, and you're pushing into a very strong 5-man lineup. If they do this, well, proceed cautiously. Do not force the fight.
Yeah, don't
if
drop
you're
fall down and all your ultimates for Go Black. Save it for Sven.
He does have an Ogre Club, Lumi. Don't underestimate him. BKB's coming.
And 3 Bracer on Go Black. He's actually quite tanky.
That's the funny thing, is when someone has 3 bracers, that is basically, it's the it's, you know, like the scarlet letter that you are poor and fairly useless as a support. But
I mean, on
if
a
they're
Leshrac,
focusing you, you're very useful.
on a Leshrac, you just run in with Pulse Nova turned on with all your strength item. I don't think it's that bad, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of BKBs, though. Rattlesnake backing off now. They'll go back for Assange on Icy. It looks like Heaven's Halberd is the choice, and, well, it doesn't really help you against those BKB carries is the one issue. You can always BKB to remove that, but it does give you some evasion, and evasion for the time being seems very cost-effective.
Heaven's Halberd, though, is
Yeah, but Sven's got a BKB, so
well, his BKB eventually will...
That's true.
Yeah.
If the game goes longer, then this item actually gets a lot more powerful, which is kind of weird to say. Normally it's seen as more of a mid-game item, but this is, again, going back to what we talked about before, these BKB usages for Sakshka are very precious.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, evasion will not help you against
Cleaves, that's correct.
Okay.
It does help you against some things that are like not actually cleaves, like Gyrocopter's Flak, but against actual cleave, if Sakshka is hitting a unit next to someone with evasion, they still take the damage. They can't evade it.
Oh, here comes Funzy. He's got an Invis Room. Nice pickup. There's no detection up this hill, and generally when you're taking on a big stack like this, like Rattlesnake, sometimes it's just safer to have like a sentry over here to see if you're getting run in like that. But for now, they dodge a big Quantic smoke, and they're just farming
They've
away.
got their flock of familiars. I do feel like the familiars have kind of not been as useful in the mid game as I thought they would. You get an Ags, you expect them to be able to block a lot of camps and just constantly be scouting, but they're kind of just sitting around as 3. I feel like they could be doing a bit more here. Now he's split pushing, but these are just dead. He's got to resummon.
He's gonna have to summon him right now.
Yeah, that's 300 gold.
You're not flying them out there. Come on.
Good luck.
There you go.
He was like, man, I really don't. That's
a long
That
cooldown.
resummon has nearly 3 minutes.
Yeah, it does.
It lasts a long time.
Well, they do know where the enemy team is for that resummon, so I guess that's valuable information. Here comes Quantic for push.
Oh, here comes the big team fight. Rattlesnake, Icy in the front lines, looking to go. The Chaos Bolt's there. The Roar is in. He never got off his BKB. Can he get home in time? He can't. Now the Chain Frost doing virtually nothing. Silent to fall. They got the initiation, and that's all she wrote. Quantic getting wiped here. 3 dead on the back foot. Roche coming up in about a minute and a half.
Neil's
2
dying
minutes.
to the wall. Neil's dying to the wall. These
God.
illusions are...
Still a great fight, but a clowny little conclusion there.
Well, I mean, I just have to say that Lamb picking up both Blink Dagger and Axe Step there means his Roar is literally coming off like 4 screens away, and these guys have not wrote down Roche timing. They almost, it's like, oh, Roshan's not here. Let's go.
I think that's one of those fights where you're like, you're just like so hyped
Oh,
when
you're
you
in
have
drill.
it.
It's like, go Roche, go Roche.
Because that's
Oh.
there's no Roche.
Okay.
What do we do?
Let's go farm.
Let's go farm.
That's not bad, you know. Enemy team's dead. Unfortunately, they weren't able to push off of that, so that's some missed value. But I mean, if you are Quantic and you're losing this game to a Beastmaster, roaring your Sven every time, how much Sven is gonna give you? I really don't think Quantic will really take heads-on team fights anymore.
They can't. I think they want to counter initiate.
Yes.
Like when Rattlesnake jumps them, ideally you want to kind of wait out the BKBs, then you vac, you Stormbolt, and you jump in with the Tether Stun, the Chain Frost. If they're forced to initiate, then, well, the chances of actually catching everyone Rattlesnake, pretty slim. Because there's a lot of BKBs on the key heroes now, the Sven and the Gyro. There's a lot of tanky supports. Quantic have to counter initiate. Either that or just find solo heroes. If they're initiating in a 5v5, I feel their chances of winning that are very slim.
Also, I do want to point out that there is one tactic available to Quantic is backdooring with your Sven and Wisp.
Ooh.
It's not exactly...
It's not quite a tiny, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, you have a ton of burst damage output, so especially with God Strength turned on. Unfortunately, Go Black's got spotted out.
Roche is up now, though. The Hawk flying around. It's the Air Force of Rattlesnake.
The familiars,
On the
what do you
move,
do?
they're catching out Godblack. He's a little bit isolated. The Tether's there to the
look,
Sven.
the Roar.
Once again, caught by the Roar, but there's no follow-up this time around. So the Roar goes through. The Chaos Knight does find a kill on Godblack, but here comes big, bad Daddy Sven. He wants a kill. He can't get one. Luo able to live. He needed more crits. He needed more cleave. He doesn't have enough yet. They do find one, but now the BKB is down. Zakshka gets another, but on the run, and in the end, it's a 2 for 2. Fairly even trade, I guess, there.
Yeah, I mean, they use the Beastmaster Roar as a counter initiate to save the Crystal Maiden.
Now there's a Satanic, though, on Gyro. Ooh, that hurts.
I mean, Satanic is a nice item to get yourself a little bit of burst HP, but if you don't activate your Satanic quick enough, aka if you get bursted down by a 1k crit, I'm not sure if it matters, but the actual HP component of the Reaver is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, and of course, if he doesn't die during that initial burst, then he's Satanic, and he's going to heal most of it back up.
Yep. And are they actually thinking about Roshan here? Chain Frost is down.
You know
Vacuum
Wall's
Wall is
down.
down. Yeah, so...
Good. Again, Rattlesnake, in game 1, I feel, well, they had a good start in the tri lane, but I think the thing that sealed the deal for them was when they recognized they could take Roche and there was nothing Quantic could do about it. And in game 3, they're doing that same thing again. There's nothing Quantic can do about this Roche. They get it now on Luo, and now he's basically got 2 lives.
Yeah.
Maybe even 3 with the Satanic.
Well, I think a lot of Luo's effectiveness also depends on whether he has Flat Cannon up and also whether his allies are alive. If his allies aren't alive, then...
Yeah, the Gyro's not going to win in a man fight 1v like 3 or 4. That's for
Right.
damn sure.
Well, it also depends on his flak, if he has enough flak damage, but...
If you're Quantic now, it's of the utmost priority for all your supports to get Ghost Scepters and Force Staves, because otherwise you just die to the flak and you're useless. And right now, Godblack, well, there's no room in his inventory for anything.
he's got to
like
sell a Bracer, but yeah, he's...
Blink, Roar again from Lamb. He's done it, but the great defensive Force Staff. Bunty keeping
Reality
him
Rift.
safe. It was actually a double force. They almost caught him anyway.
And that's why we say that Force Staff is really good against the Beastmaster, right? I mean, normally anybody dies to that Blink Roar from afar, but...
Yeah, you see some interesting stats here about who you want to focus when you've got Cleave. So, again, shout out to Vikraman for dropping the knowledge bombs. But now there's Cheese and Chaos Knight. Quantic, they have to counter initiate, especially now. With Cheese and Aegis, if you go in, even if you kill those heroes, they come back the second round and they kill you.
Yeah, I wonder exactly what Rattlesnake is thinking about. Or do they feel like they're not strong enough to initiate all these birds? The triple stunning and
Is that really? He doesn't have a What is the?
8 seconds.
What's your plan here? That's
oh,
just 300 gold.
cleave, bam!
Well, if they get it, where's the crits?
Okay, that's not so bad.
Okay, looked bad.
Okay.
No Sven crits.
No, he never got attack off.
He got. I think he got one or
one
two.
attack off. Okay.
Yeah.
He
No
should have
crits.
turned on Zolt for that. It's like free gold, 300.
Well, now he's got the resummon up, and now Sagam. I love these item pickups for Rattlesnake. Shiva's Guard now coming out for the Visage.
Yep.
Another item that's great just for slowing down a melee carry. You can kite him with the actual move speed slow when he's not BKB'd, and you still get that attack speed slow. More armor for the Visage. We saw in the last fight, Sakshka, he got a decent combo off there. He hit a couple of heroes, did a lot of damage, brought Icy low, brought the Gyro low, but couldn't kill them. That was before Aegis, that was before Satanic, that was before Cheese, and that was before what's coming now, which is going to be the Shiva's Guard for the Visage.
Looks like they're striking up the high ground here with the CK illusions. Oh, that tower just melts with the birds.
It's all about effing Mad here. He needs a great vacuum. The vacuum's got to be just right. Can he find it? It's hard for him to go in. He doesn't have a Blink Dagger. Still the Familiar slowing things down. They're just going to siege with some illusions here from the Chaos Knight. Now they come in from the sideline. Here's Sven. The Chaos Bolt to fly, slowing down Bunzy. He's going straight on Luo. Luo Satanic up, and he's tanking it all. Turns it around. Now they pull in effing Mad, who's on the run. Can he get out?
Sven bites back, but no ultimate.
Goblak now on the run as well, and Icy giving chase. There's your 2-second stun. Goblak sure to fall down to the barrage, and this might be the end of Quantic. 35-19 your score. 41 minutes in. Rattlesnake didn't use the Aegis there. The Cheese still online. They take away the
vacuum stun, and the cleaves are coming out, but he does not have God Strength. He gets stunned up, and the stunning just layers upon layers on Sok, and he's forced to go back. Crystal Maiden says, prevention ultimate, baby. And now coming back as Silent, thanks to a couple of nukes, and he goes down.
One lane of Rex. Imagine if he had BKB. Imagine if he had his God Strength up there.
That
Could have been a different fight.
That would have been a team
But that was the problem, is Rattlesnake had the insurance plan. They had the Aegis, they had the Cheese, they had the BKBs. They could afford to force Quantic to use that and then just back off. Even get a kill or two, live through it all. Even if Sven gets a kill there, Gyro's still coming back with Satanic online and a BKB just about cooling down.
Yeah, he still has that Aegis. Let's not forget about that one.
That's the thing, is even if they kill him once, he's got another life. Now they're going in bottom lane. They've got him back here. Back into Stormbolt. Amazing combo. Chain Frost is in. Maybe it's enough. I'm not sure yet. Luo's still tanking it out. Duking it out. Satanic's online. Not even bothering to pop it yet. Now he'll unload. Focusing Effing Mad, who's low, but not dead yet. The melee Rex stands. The hero board brings it down. Lamb blinking forward. Diving them to the well.
Axis chops
Double kill off with his head. And that probably is it. Quantic.
Wow.
GG. Rattlesnake, they've done it. They've beaten the Wisp.
That's gotta be scary if you're Quantic.
You gotta feel good if you're Rattlesnake, because this is like, we could have done it in game 2, and now we've shown you we're not afraid of your Wisp. We'll give it away and we'll beat it.
How amazing is Lance Beastmaster this game, because he has found every single kind of utility item. Went Mech first, Arcane, and then it was Ags and Blink. And it doesn't matter how many items Sven has, he just got locked down pretty much every single team fight.
They had such a good lineup for dealing with the Sven. The Beastmaster roar slow, the actual roar itself. They had the gyrocopter cooldown slow. And the other thing was they got ahead early. Better movement from them. Great performance from Rattlesnake.
And the biggest thing about this game is CK says, screw you, Wisp. I got this thing by myself. I can still win game.
Wisp is still the one with like 10 other boyfriends, you know,
that's fine.
in the phone directory.
Wisp's got some swag.
Chaos Knight is still lamenting the loss of his Wisp.
All right, that's fair. But let's send it back to analysts and see what they think about this game.
Lon definitely MVP.
Yeah, he played really well. I think Effing Mad maybe slacked a little bit. He probably could have played better, but that is a pretty tough matchup. It does go both ways, though, Darkseer versus Beastmaster, but he snowballed off of those kills and then CM rotated for the gank.
Too.
And he did get Rune Luck. I mean, it would have made a big difference. Maybe Effing Mad would have had an extra 200 HP, and then the combo wouldn't have been viable. So that made a huge impact. I think all the other lanes for Quantic went really well. The game was extremely close, despite the huge kill deficiency, even at the end of the game. So as a whole, I think Quantic played it really well. Just things didn't quite combo perfectly, and they had the heroes to do it. They had Darkseer with Sven and a Leshrac, but it just never really happened.
Yeah, I don't think they should be giving away Gyrocopter as much as they have been doing either. Gyrocopter is just such a good hero. He was like really underfarmed at one point, but he just took the Ancient Stat, got his BKB, and after that, Butterfly Satanic, and he was unkillable at the end. And he is just really good at man moding versus Sven, because Sven usually does not get MKB, and if you usually can't farm up that butterfly. You're forced to get BKB, or else you're just Sven Sun into a Tether Sun, and then follow up Leshrac Sun, and then you just die. So you have to get BKB, and then you need, like, if you just get straight up Satanic, you don't really do any damage. So you need the butterfly too. But I mean, Sven couldn't really keep up with him. I mean, that Boar Stun was.
I feel so bad. I'm so
I
sorry.
feel his pain. That I don't really want to say that was like a turning point, but that was really their time to shine. Like before Gyro gets BKB, like when they're all like turning tail and running, they can just chase people down with all these stuns, and it just
and all their movement speed as well. Like
it just
Lich is
didn't
really
happen.
fast. They had a Darkseer, they had a Wisp, they had Sven with his Warcry. Yeah, Warcry. Yeah, that's his armor one. So they had a lot of options. And I never really saw a good Chain Frost, with the exception of the one team fight by the Dire Ancient camp. That one bounced around forever and made their fight actually end up pretty okay. But I mean, they should have been able to wombo combo at some point, but they weren't able to pull it together before the BKBs came out. And once the BKBs come out, Vacuum doesn't snag you, and Chain Frost does 0 damage, just does a little bit of slow. So I don't know. I think Quantic played pretty darn well, but it just didn't quite come together. I think they needed Darkseer to do a bit better, and they needed their combos to come, and it never happened.
Yeah, just got a little bit too far behind early and was just really scrambling to snowball, but they just couldn't get it
They
off.
were very close. I really do
close,
think they were very close. And
but I mean, they had Wisp that game, and a Western team losing to an Eastern team with Wisp is very unusual.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I would say about that is that Wisp Sven is great for cleaving AoE, but it's not as good at ganking at all, because you have a 2-second stun with your Stormbolt, and then you have the Wisp Tether stun, but it's not as reliable as like a Chaos Knight is. And you probably should pop your ulti when you do those ganks, because there's a chance that you wouldn't have enough burst damage. So while it does like cleave really well in team fights, the gank potential isn't the same, so you can't just like do okay in the early game and then snowball into kills while farming.
Yeah, they just relied on him a little bit too much. He does great versus CK and cleaving down his images, but when you have that many disables to deal with, when you have the CK in your face, when you have the Beastmaster Roar and not really any other sort of damage, I mean, they have wall, but it's not that great. They just really lacked on. They just put too many eggs in one basket, I feel like.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So that's going to make it 2-1, 2 points there for Rattlesnake. It's pretty good.
Your prediction's wrong too.
Dang it, you're right.
Dang.
I didn't even realize. 'Cause
No.
You see my disappointment? That was live. Wow.
It's okay. We feel together.
In the running, I think LD is the only one that's left. You said 3-1?
3-1 Rattlesnake.
Yeah.
So if Rattlesnake wins this next game, all your rares belong to me. But they have to win.
They have to win.
If they lose and then they win the next game,
How
then
do they look, though? Game 1, they kind of...
I think they look more solid. Like, honestly, I think they should have won game 2 if they played it just right. I think in game 3 they had like their game plan was super solid.
I think Quantic should have won on game 1.
Where the hell is Quantic picks?
I can't even remember game 1 that well.
Where's the
Game one's
gold
a-
black
I remember
picks?
the
Fat Rider
roach.
Shadow
The
Fiend.
picks are in the first stage of bans. That's where they are.
Yeah,
Come
that's
on.
true. Game 1 was Quantic really not.
What happened to my
playing the hand
Pugna SD Naga offensive trial?
Yeah, where are these picks?
We're like, I hyped it up so much.
Even
Lumi,
Rattlesnake
you said Goblek would have 5 strategies. I've seen 1.
I've
I
seen
think,
one, and most of it are in the
which
bad.
is Wisp. We
Well,
need.
that's not
it's
even a
time-
strat.
Yeah.
That's just like, oh, Wisp.
Of course, Goblek has had some brilliant drafts in the past, so we
Yeah.
can't count him out yet. But Rattlesnake continue to ban Trant, continue to ban OD. What are they going to turn to?
I don't know. They need to go big, or they're gonna go home after
Okay.
one more game.
Well, guys,
It's
we'll
not
take a
good.
very quick break. We'll get some water. Don't leave, though, because Game 4 is coming up right now. Rattlesnake have Quantic right where they want them, on the ropes, leading 2-1. It's a best of 5. Rattlesnake 1 win away from moving on. Whoever wins this series goes into the big dance. They start the group stages tomorrow. $2.8 million and rising. Go get your compendiums now and stay with us. Game 4 after this.